Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
If she's not already happy, I'm going to make her even more happy. I'm referring, of course, to Diana, because I know you're already happy because this is one of your favorite Torah portions. And my opening question is going to be about your favorite scene, the scene of the golden calf. And we're going to play a little CSI. Before we had CSI, we had the Torah. And if you haven't noticed already, the Torah is a series of mistakes and tragedies that we have to sort of unpack. The only difference is, unlike CSI, we sort of know the end, and we sort of know how it's all going to unfold. But let's imagine we're on the scene. Right after the whole sin of the golden calf, the whole scene. We're at the crime scene, okay? What would we figure out went wrong, and who's at fault? Marge. Sure, you're a detective, okay? So you're looking and you're saying, wow, look, imagine all the aspects of the scene. I don't want to give all the aspects of the scene away. And who would you think, what was the crime and who was at fault? Yep. Yes, good job, detective. And what would you discover in those interviews?
Well, if you were lucky, you'd have consistent responses of who was the original organizer.
Yes, and who was the original organizer? I want to know some facts, Marge. Come on. Who was it? Who was the original organizer? Okay, fair enough. Michal, it's okay. You can raise your hand. She was not ready to cause blame. She said, I don't know who was the original organizer, so being very judicious. Yes? So who put Aharon and Hur in charge of?
Two people in charge when he went up.
Sure.
Hur was killed by the angry mob, and Aharon tried to, I'm not sure what he was trying to do.
Okay.
So if you're saying who was guilty,
Okay.
it wasn't Hur.
Okay. But who, was it Aaron? Was it the angry mob?
Well, maybe it was a misjudgment, or maybe...
So forgiving. We're so forgiving, the Jewish people. We call this, everyone, the sin of the golden calf, and there was a lot of destruction. So, do you want to, take a shot at somebody? No pun intended. No? Okay, fair enough. You don't have to. I don't want.
I learned so many good things. It's hard for me to completely condemn him.
Wow, very nice of you, Michal. So maybe Aaron, but he's done so many good things. You don't want to say anything. You don't want to throw Aaron under the bus. Okay, fine. Anyone else? Rob. Aaron had a lapse of leadership. Yeah, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs would agree with you that Aaron, when asked, to what happened, he said, "Oh, I don't know. Like there was an angry mob, and we just threw a bunch of things in the fire, and all of a sudden a golden calf came out, right? And here he is, appointed. It was going to be Moses' mouthpiece." The future Kohen Gadol, the Kohen Gadol, and where's the leadership? Thank you. Yeah, Marge.
You want to know where it was started. I mean, there was culpability in not controlling it, but who initiated it?
Who came up with the idea?
Yeah.
Interesting. We don't have a name for that one. Okay, so maybe there was really interesting. You bring something to my attention I never thought about, but when the Torah describes the scene, they describe the people and Aaron's relationship with the people. So there's not like, we don't know, it was Brian, who came up with the idea. The people, okay. Well, by the way, it wasn't the people that came up with the idea, it was the people that were upset about something. Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
So the people, we all know the story. Most went, they were getting restless. Where is this leader? What kind of leader is he? Why is he stuck up there? What are we going to do now? Oh my God! Like, what do we do? And I think some say like Aaron might have been hedging a bet almost. It's like buying time because it took time to get all these people to give them their stuff and wait around, and it was a little bit of a stall tactic almost. And then a couple other things about that. Many put it in, and this out came this golden calf. Then they were punished. They were punished for it. But I think really what at the end there was the people that didn't die for this sin. There was an opportunity for teshuvah. And I love the part where Moshe says to Aaron, like, what happened? He's like, and he tells him the whole thing.
Hold on, let's not get to the whole ending of the story. We're right now at the beginning, okay?
So when you say who's to blame, I think the people just got really impatient, and then Aaron did what he thought, because what we say about him is Ohev Shalom V'Rodef Shalom. Ohev et Habriot V'Karban Torah. Like, he really was a peacekeeper.
Okay.
And I
So,
don't think he was trying to vie for anything higher than what he already was. Just trying to help.
okay. Okay, Aaron was just trying to help. You said something earlier. The people were restless. This is a big piece here. Why were the people restless?
Well, it was kind of like, the parents went away and they left the babysitter in charge, and the parents stayed out later than they were, and the kids are like, where's our dad? Like, is he coming back? They were nervous.
It's a big part of the story. The story begins, if I was doing my interrogation, Vayar ha'am ki boshesh Moshe. When the people saw that Moses was long in coming down from the mountain, the people gathered against Aaron and said to him, come make us a god who shall go before us, for that man Moses, who brought us from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has happened to him. Okay, so there's a restlessness because Moses is not there. Great. Anyone else? I want to propose a number of culprits with Marge, please. Yeah.
And it's acted out in such a terrible way, and I think we're seeing that over and over in history.
Yes. Before we go over and over in history, I want to follow up on one piece, and then Doctor, we'll get to you, which is, what's the instinct? What you mentioned, insecure. What is it? What's the instinct that comes out? When we're feeling insecure. Fear, and we're afraid for what? What becomes to the forefront for us?
I think our safety.
Yeah, our personal, ourself, right? Like, I need this for me to feel safe, to feel secure. Doctor? Yeah. Dr. Stein?
I was just going to say Moses was such a strong leader that the stronger the leader, the more his absence is felt. And so this is sort of an interesting thing. And Yitro sort of sensed this, and he said, you need to delegate more and more, and he probably didn't have enough diversity of leadership. His absence was sorely missed.
Beautiful. The void of strong leadership by Moses. Fair. I want to propose the following. I want to propose that there are multiple culprits shared by a similar idea. And then pose a very strange thing that God does in response to this. So let's go through our culprits. We're interviewing our different parties. The people of Israel, we've talked about the people of Israel. People of Israel, restless, insecure, right? And what is it they do? They create a molten image. And what is it that they are doing? They are trying to find something for themselves that is tangible. They want to touch the divine. They feel alone, insecure, So literally, you imagine they are reaching up and trying to pull down the divine so that they can have physical control of their God. Then we have Aaron. Aaron is trying to resolve this conflict. And what does he do? I'm going to fix it myself. I am going to myself tell everyone exactly what to do, and this is going to solve the problem. Then we have Moses. Okay? Where is Moses? Moses is at Mount Sinai. And there is a beautiful section of the Torah where God tells Moses, Lech Raid. Lech, what does that literally mean? It means go down, but it seems repetitive. Go down. The rabbis read into this that Moses at that moment, here he is, alone with God, receiving the revelation for the people of Israel, and he does not want to leave. At that moment, he does not think about the people of Israel, and God goes and tells Moses, no, your people need you right now. Moses thinking about himself. And then Moses coming down the mountain, and he sees the people of Israel building a golden calf. And at that moment, he takes this gift of the 10 Commandments, and he makes the choice out of his anger to say, I'm going to throw them down. And God, after this, turns to Moses and says, I want to start all over. And there's a piece of reading into God that God is thinking, I'm so embarrassed by this. I have brought the people out for this? What does this say about me? And Moses then flips it in a moment. I'll unpack that. But you can look at all 4 parties as focusing at this moment on their own needs, their own self. And as a result, it leads to this crime scene. Now, there's something beautiful that those of us who have been to this crime scene before knows what happens. For the most part, people of Israel, some people don't make it through. But compared to the punishments that unfold in Numbers, this is a relatively lighter one. People of Israel make it through. Aaron, he makes it through. Moses, this is not, always say, he broke the tablets and didn't make it. No, it's not because of this sin that he doesn't make it the land of Israel. And God makes it through. And what is it that causes all of this to unfold? When Moses recalls this story in the 5th book of the Torah, in the book of Deuteronomy, he talks about that he ascends right back to God, and he pleads on behalf of the people of Israel, which we know from the book of Exodus, from this week's Parsha. But he also adds something else that we don't see. He also pleads for his brother Aaron. And in many ways, from the text, he pleads for God. Hey, this is your people. And Moses, the act of praying to God is an act of thinking something beyond himself, about the people that embarrassed him and wronged him, were the subject of his anger. He now has a moment and he sees beyond it. He causes God to do so. People of Israel, by the way, end up rebuilding a place for God to dwell. It symbolizes a home. It is less of a tangible and more of something that embodies the idea of time. After this, we're going to learn more about the laws of Shabbat. People of Israel have a law called the red heifer, which is this idea that when we have moments of immorality, we have a pathway to come back to the community. God develops this for the people of Israel. The people of Israel walk this path. So the red heifer is another example of us seeing beyond ourselves, whether to bring in humility, and as a result of seeing beyond ourselves, we're able to make it through, overcome our ego. So those are a number of pathways that our Torah hints that the people of Israel are able to overcome this desire to focus only on themselves. And we think, oh, wonderful. We are now a mindful, altruistic, we have now empathy, and we're now able to move forward from this scene. And at the end of this book, next week's Torah portion, we're going to see that God gives a very interesting instruction that seems to be very going against the grain here. Chapter 38, verse 8, in giving the instructions for the washing bin that the priest will use to wash right before they enter into a holy space, God says, take the mirrors of the women of Israel and use that as the bottom. And so what is he getting at? We're going to take these symbols, a mirror is a symbol of vanity. We're going to put it at the bottom of this. So right before a priest immerses his hands and prepares to wash himself before engaging in an act of holiness, we'll look right at himself. Now think about that. Oh, you, Mr. Aaron, you, this beautiful person, you are going to be the one who's going to move forward. And it seems that we're right back where we started from, all of a sudden focusing on the self. The rabbis, of course, pick up on this and add a beautiful midrash. And they ask, well, why these vanity mirrors? And they come up with a beautiful story, and I think we can glean a lot of meaning for this. They talk about why were those mirrors chosen? Because in Egypt, during a time of great repression, the men of Israel gave up. They were consumed with despair, and they did not want to continue the people of Israel, and they stayed away from their wives. Their wives, the women of Israel, realized the challenge that was presented here, and they rallied. They made themselves very beautiful using their mirrors, enticed their husbands. By the way, there's many midrashim about the women of Israel here. Some of you may have dates in your charoset, right? Supposedly the dates are from, that's where the place is, in the shade where the women of Israel enticed their husbands. But as a result of this act of valor, the people of Israel continue and they overcome that obstacle of despair. So what do these mirrors then represent? It is these mirrors that become tools of life. But in a more powerful way, the women of Israel at that moment realized there was something beyond themselves, that they were, like each and every one of us, sacred vessels. And filled with that purpose, they as a group partook actions to help perpetuate the Jewish people, read into that, maintain a place for goodness to dwell, God to dwell, as we, again, are all made in the image of God. So when a priest then is about to immerse himself and wash his hands, what those mirrors remind him of is that he is a sacred vessel. Not just him personally, but he is part of a people, imbued with a sacred mission that he cannot do alone. Sometimes we think so much about how we look like, and more important, sometimes we need to consider what is the power of our reflection? What is the image that we are emanating? Sometimes when we are under attack, it is very easy to think only about what it is that we need and less about what it is that we are emanating, the light that we are bringing forth. I very much wish we did not have to, as a Jewish people, think about our safety and security. I wish there wasn't so many threats to those very things. And at the same time, I wish and hope and pray that we are not only consumed with that first part, but we are mindful of our command and commitment to being Kli Kodesh, to being sacred vessels, and continuing to emanate a light to this world. Shabbat Shalom.